NYPD continuing to search for two suspects accused of assaulting two police officers near Times Square back in January.
This as they arrest yet another suspect, charging her with assault. Good Day's Robert Moses joins us this morning from Times Square with the latest. Robert, good morning.
So Shawnee and Dan, good morning to you. About a month and a half after that January 27th assault here in Times Square, police are still looking for all of those who are responsible. The city continues to buckle under the weight of its responsibility to not only care for its own, but also to care for the more than 180,000 asylum seekers who have arrived at its doorstep. Police just released these pictures of two more suspects who are wanted in connection with the assault of two police officers outside of a migrant shelter in Times Square in January. Yesterday morning, police say they arrested 20-year-old 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 and charged her with assault on a police officer. She lived at an address on Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn. Police would not confirm her immigration status. The assault on the officers drew national attention. Congressman Anthony 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗓𝗡 and Congresswoman 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪𝗓, both Republican members of New York's delegation, invited the officers and their wives to last week's State of the Union address. Speaking of Washington, that is exactly where more than 50 clergy members plan to travel today to lobby lawmakers for federal assistance to help offset the costs of the migrant crisis. Reverend Edward Richard Hines, a minister from Brooklyn, says he and other faith leaders from all 5 boroughs have meetings scheduled with both of New York's senators, Chuck Schumer and 𝗙𝗢𝗟 𝗟𝗡𝗅, as well as House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who represents Brooklyn. The city has cared for more than 180,000 asylum seekers and counting who have arrived at its doorstep. The Social Services Commissioner revealed at a city council hearing yesterday that the average cost per night of caring for a single migrant household, known as the per diem rate, stands at $388. That's $5 more than the cost that Mayor Eric Adams cited in August, but down from a peak per diem rate of $394 in October, according to a mayoral spokesman. Nearly 65,000 migrants remain in the city's care at last check. Now, the federal government has allocated more than $150 million to help pay for the migrant crisis here, but city leaders say they have seen only about a third of that, in large part because of cumbersome application requirements for that money. We're live in Times Square this morning.